Welcome back everyone, Let's Play Terra Invicta episode number 7 in our Let's Play series as the Academy. I'm just going to be popping in to give brief updates like this bizarre one about the Russian under the servants declaring war on Namibia. These things don't really make sense to me, but who am I to say what's the right thing in the grand scheme of things for the servants and the aliens' plans? Anyways, I'm just going to be doing nice quick cuts, try to progress the time as much as possible. We're starting this one in middle of 2024. Hopefully I get to the end of 2025 by the end of the episode. That'll just depend on how much stuff happens. But we'll practice our first cut here. Okay, well, it continues. Just thought I'd show. It's now Cambodia's turn. Okay, now we can detect alien movements using FLIR. So that technology's done. Let you guys read this if you want. I want to make sure I come in for these storyline things because I really think that they're, this is all well done, the storyline progression. Now we can track, so we'll be actually able to see the aliens. That's interesting, on its own. So we have, we got our work cut out for us now. We have to contact the aliens. I will definitely let you know when that happens. So here's the new objective. Detect an alien operative on Earth and conduct an assassinate mission on it. I guess we want a corpse before we contact them as well. Well, not necessarily before, but as a separate objective. So we're going to have to produce that corpse ourselves. Well, much to my chagrin, we have found an alien. Actually, this is a good thing, but unfortunately, I don't have anybody with an assassinate or even a detain. So I'll have to work on that. And then, then we can actually go after these guys. So I need to pick up obviously I need to pick up an org. I am currently trying to raid some of the servants for their orgs. So I'll just have to look for one of those. Alright, we are going to contact the aliens. Initiate a diplomatic exchange. Take me there. Well, not surprisingly, we have no idea what they're saying. But the text here is, again, it's kind of telling of the Academy's strained position. The exodus from our faction has brought some unexpected benefits. We now have ex-members spread throughout both pro and anti-alien groups. And some are still sympathetic enough to our cause that they are willing to listen. A group within the servants has supplied us with some records of their own, meetings with the aliens, and has detailed their methods of contacting them directly, or methods to contact them. Well, we don't have any idea what they're saying, so the next goal is now to conduct the Hydra language research project. Oh, and just in case the the progress on our 25,000 thing wasn't difficult enough, now it's a different one. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing next. I'll probably throw it in after space docks, but hey, look at this, 2027 completion for our thing. It's just our research has gone up significantly. Alright, well, it continues. Next is Nicaragua. There's a quick thing I want to mention about research. I don't even remember what this was beforehand. I apologize. But we finished it, and I chose a rival law because this has a few texts that'll increase the number of control points we're allowed. And I think we're kind of getting ahead here. I can show that in a second. Also note that vacuum electrostatics is now up. Anyway, let me go over and show what I mean here. If we go over to resources, everyone's at 221, 246, 221, 224, 239, and I'm at 296. So this is, if I can just continue to push this up, I think I can take more of the pie than other people. So I think basically it'll be more to my advantage. So a rival law does unlock a couple of techs, I think, that increase your point capacity by 10. Those are pretty expensive techs, I think 5,000 each, but we're kind of rolling on the tech front, so I don't feel too bad about it. We'll do augmented combat training. I swapped that out for the defoliance one, just because this one has an investment impact, and those I always try to prioritize those first. Well, the play here is obviously that the servants hate the resistance, and they've gone to war against Honduras now. Another point that the resistance holds that I guess the servants want. They keep inviting me in, by the way, as the allies of the EU, as the US. Probably they want to stay allies with me because they don't want the United States to go and take over the EU, which is something I hadn't really considered. But we've been doing a little bit of math on the Discord about taking over big countries or whatnot, and I don't think it's actually worth it. There's a couple of factors involved. By the way, I don't know if I already showcased this, but the United Kingdom did join, or Great Britain, I should say. They joined EU, and Italy left the EU, and it's just kind of a whole fracturing going on here. But the fact that there's now, instead of having 4 control points, they have 5, which it was 4 for England, and it's 4 for the EU minus England, so now there's 5, and each of those is costing 20. So there is a bit of I think that the sum of smaller nations adds up to more research. Maybe, I don't actually know the benefit, in fact, I'm kind of on the fence about unifying it all. It might actually be more efficient to ununify. Now there is some, I'm talking about control point efficiency, like how much research per control point, how much money per control point, how much can you spend on funding to get more funding, how much that's effective is based on purely on the total number of monthly investment points you have. And I think that the net sum monthly investment points you have is greater if you have less or smaller nations. But anyway, that's just a theory right now. I thought I would just ramble on about that for a moment. And in the meantime, we're really at the point where I'm actually getting a pretty good odds to crack down Germany. I'd like to take Germany's executive branch back just because I'd like to be in control of Germany. Germany is doing so well for us in terms of research. I mean, in fact, we're okay. This has control points of 19.78 times 5, and this is 16.12 times 4. So total control point significantly less. Are we at the research? Let's see. I actually want to do the math real fast. Let's just do 20 times 5, which is pretty easy. It's 100. And then 16 times 4, which is 64. So are we at 2/3 their research? 2/3 of 240, we'll call it 160. We are a little bit above it, and they're a little bit above 240. This is the kind of math I'm interested in doing. I think it's fun to do. But, I mean, damn game designers are so good about this. They've actually balanced things so well that you can't really get ahead by doing tricks. I don't like that entirely, because I like to play tricks, but I will show some respect for the fact that they appear to have anticipated all our games. Well, this is a very, very good moment for us. The probe has arrived on Mars, and we do have a fair amount of boost banked. We're going to spend pretty much all of it. I want to save as much of Mars for myself as I can. Now, that doesn't mean it'll be ours forever. There's possibilities that people will try to take our spots later. In the usual way, this is basically just another control point game, just like it is on Earth. So there's different ways you can manipulate foreign locations. It's just not quite the same. It's not the same mechanics as on Earth, but it's the same idea. Anyways, this is extremely important, so we're definitely going to ask the game to send us over to Mars, where, again, let's just kind of take a look and see how everyone stacks up with us in terms of boost, because that's the main thing right now. 10 boost, 5 boost, 12 boost, that's pretty good actually, 17 boost, damn it, it's the servants of course, and then 15 boost. So it looks like 17, 15, and 12 is what we're really competing with. To found a place on Mars, which, assuming people left at the exact same time I did with their probe, which is not, I don't know, we should definitely pretend that is true. Founding a platform on any of these places is going to be 4.7 boost. So everyone will be able to get 1 or 2 or 3. I guess not everyone. Everyone will be able to get, I think, at least 1. But at most, people will be able to get 3. We are going to ransack the place. We have 77. In theory, I think we can get every single place. We don't want that. In fact, what do we want? Let's kind of find out. Okay, look, immediately jumps off the page at me. Immediately. The highest water and... Is it the highest water? No, it's not. But a very high number for water, over 50. But also very good for the... What are these called? The radiation ones? Fissiles, yeah. So that's a no-brainer for me. Oh, no. I was looking at the wrong one. Okay, so that's... Outpost is 10.6. Okay, so now Outpost being 10.6 means that almost nobody can form, can do one. I guess 3 people can do one. 2 people can't do one at all. Just a note, by the way, I only have 5 other factions besides the aliens. I being the 6th faction. We have no protectorate in this. I know people are actually commenting, well, the protectorate might... There's no protectorate in my game. I'm playing the 7 faction version, which I guess includes the aliens. So a little bit of money, 15 money, I can afford that for sure. But 10.6 boost means we can get... Okay, we can get 7. Thank goodness we can get 7. We will get all 7. I think it's going to be worth it. Let's just... Well, I mean, we'll see which ones we want. But we want Utopia, Planitia. That's a no-brainer. Higher water again. Well, okay. As far as volatiles go, this is pretty important. I see 54 here. It's pretty good. And all of these have water. I mean, the only one that really doesn't have water is Olympus Mons. Even that one has 10. I mean, still, I think it's better than everything that was on the moon. But this 54 jumps off the page at me as well. 3rd most fissiles as well. Doesn't really contribute much as far as the nobles and the base metals. Nice income. So I'm going to take Terra. That will be outpost number 2. And that's going to take like 300 days to get set up, which... You know, kind of okay because it's going to buy us time to get enough boost to be able to send other things over. We want to increase that for sure. Unfortunately, each one of these that we're sending is also going to decrease our boost income. So I'm looking at this one. I actually think we should get one with a high amount of base metals, which means 56 here. And it looks like that one is unrivaled. Not that we need, I mean, we don't have to take like all the best stuff here. We can get things from other places, but it's kind of nice to have, like, consolidate, I don't know, not Santa Terra, right? I don't know, will we want to go with Olympus Mons? It does have the most amount of nobles. But let me get this one first. Okay. They're all good. I just want them all. But okay, so then Olympus Mons would have the most of those. The second most is this, which is... Well, it does have more base metals. They're comparable. I mean, not a lot of things on Mars are going to give us the... Not that you need that many. I mean, this is a... The noble metal count for a ship could probably be around 30? 40? So we will need it. I guess we will take Olympus Mons. Okay, just for fun. We'll take it as well. And that will give us... Okay, so now we're looking at... Unfortunately, we're also looking at some negatives here until we get everything up and running. But... And we're also... Yeah, we've got to be careful about mission control. Okay, we're doing okay on mission control for now. But now we're looking at a good income for base metals. Except for Terra, but that's not its point anyway. It's supposed to get volatiles. We have the base metals here. We have the waters here. We don't... Yeah, okay, we actually have the noble metals now. We have the fissiles. So let's see what else. I could get more water. And I probably want more volatiles as well. Those two just always drains. I think I'm going to get this one. I'm comparing this one with the 2 below it. It looks better, and it is better in every way except for base metals. And it has a lot of water. we're not out to like necessarily deny other people the resources, but I mean, if I just want to get the best things for myself. Unfortunately, one of these places is going to go to the servants, but other than that, I'm like, again, I've always been supportive of humanity first and the resistance, despite the fact that they aren't supportive of me, and for good reasons. But I mean, I haven't done anything to anger them. Yeah, let's take Argyre Planitia. The only question I have beyond this is, should I go for one more? Oh wow, look at that. Oh, that's from my points. Okay, we can solve that. We'll get around that. We'll figure out a way. This one is this one. So this means our water income will be very, very good. It's another 10.7. Okay, I did it. Our boosted income is down to 0.22. Let me just, for reference, by the way, go over to the moon. I think it'll be interesting to see, like, how does the moon stack up with the things we've just looked at? Because that would be probably a fun thing to compare with. Like, we put our stamp on this and we got 3, 3.7, 8.4, and 0.18. Obviously, we can see now why this is just, is laughable. It's laughable. The only one here... In fact, why the hell did I choose this one? I think I chose it because I wanted volatiles. But now, in hindsight, I wish I had taken Shackleton Crater, which I know I was going to grab as my second. But honestly, no, I don't really care. I don't think we're going to want to defend the moon at all. We're probably going to give up this one. Maybe trade it for something. And then we got to go full in on Mars. Because Mars has good stuff. And I don't know if this is a good roll or a bad roll. I haven't played enough games to see enough versions of Mars to know whether this is a good distribution of resources or not. But it seems pretty good to me. 19.8. So we do want some more base metals. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got something. Yeah, the moon is just a joke. This is the second most. We have one that's 40 here. It's 23, 46 noble metals as well, which is the second highest. Okay, so I think an Acidus Planitia is the last one we'll grab, and that'll round us out very nicely. In fact, the only thing we'll be missing is we'll be a little bit light on the volatiles, but that is, I think, something we can pick up from other places. For now, let me just try to remember which one I want to take so I don't get the wrong one. Yeah, I want to take Acidus Planitia because that one has the second most amount of noble metals. And I mean, it has a decent number of volatiles and, everything else except for no fissiles. But we've already taken one with fissiles, two with fissiles. Is this one going to be worth it? No, it doesn't look like it. It's pretty bad. Are we going to need fissiles? I mean, we can always work around the problem. But we could take two more. We could go for, like, all the fissiles. And again, we can sell these things on Earth if we don't want all of them. We were doing Acidus, Planitia. And that one has lots of base metals. Okay, found it. Down to 0.21 now. So we still do have one. Oh my gosh. It's just scary seeing that. We still have one left. I think I'm going to go for it. It's just, these things are too lucrative. If we knew how long we could hold off for before other people started taking them, then we would want to wait a little bit to get more boost. Because again, this is draining our boost. I don't know. It's a tough decision here. I'm probably gonna end up with the old go big or go home, playing a role in my decision making. Went over here to prospecting just to see a comparison of the various things that are already out there. To see also what I was kind of interested in seeing, like, well, what bases have the servants taken? They've taken one with, basically a lot of base metal for the moon, which means, it's actually not an unreasonable amount. 8, yeah, it's in the middle, including the places on Mars, which is not so bad. It actually is pretty good as far as volatiles go, and that's troubling, isn't it? They have the fourth most volatiles. But as far as water goes, I don't think that they're going to find much water There's 0 there, and volatiles, it's basically 0. So I'm kind of thinking we can go with maybe one of these high water ones. And it just turns out that this third most water one, which is Acidalia planitia, has higher volatiles or about even volatiles as the next 2, which are huge reductions in water. So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and steal Acidalia planitia as well. Which means that we're just making out like thieves here. Alright, we do not have enough boost to do anything else. We've also, because of this, spent most of our boost, which means that we probably needed to go back and do some management on the planet. Note that I actually didn't leave a reserve boost for us to send stuff there. That might have been a mistake, but we will eventually build up. I mean, it's a trade-off. Do you want to steal more things on Mars, but be a little bit handicapped? I think it's more important to steal the really nice locations than to be saving your boost and getting things up and running. Even though saving things and getting things up and running will mean that you won't worry about like the boost. You won't take the boost hit as much. I think that's what I'm trying to say. The big development which happened as far as my counselors go is I had to pick up something which has both, I mean, the main thing I wanted it for was Detain Counselor. I also happened to get Assault Alien Asset. In a horrible oversight on my part, apparently nobody has Assault Alien Asset, and this is this is bad. So we have nobody with Assassinate, and we didn't have anybody with Detain, and we didn't have anybody with Assault Alien Asset. So I didn't pick necessarily the best counselors. Word to the wise. The mission overlap is pretty important. Well, this is beginning to become a very, very familiar sight. I'm seeing a pattern here, right? Russia and the EU are both controlled by the servants, and this is something that we cannot allow to stand. So I'm currently in the process of trying to remove the servants from the EU. It would have been a lot easier, and probably would have been, better first target. And from a nuclear perspective, it's more important to remove the servants from Russia. How this game ended up so unlucky for me, I don't know. Maybe because the Academy is cursed and everything the Academy does is like the Midas touch, except for, it doesn't even turn to gold, it turns to poop. Anyway, we have quite a situation here if you're not in favor of the aliens winning, considering the servants control like the best 2 nations beyond anything I control. The next best one, by the way, is probably the Initiative, who controls Japan. I think Humanity First, they don't even control Turkey. Oh my gosh. They control Indonesia, was it? Indonesia happens to have been going pretty heavy on the boost, I guess, because they have 1.4. It's pretty good. Considering the control points of Indonesia are only 14 apiece, so you can consider this 1.4 basically comparable to something like, I don't know, it's better than Germany. I mean, Germany is not a nation which has a lot of boost. Anyway, Italy, perfect. So Italy has control points which are basically comparable, and it has, a little bit less boost. So you can see Indonesia is on par with Italy as far as boost goes, and this is the one that Humanity First controls. I don't know. I'm hoping, though, that we can dislodge the servants from either, well, both, really, the European Union. This is just so hard. The crackdown percentage chance I can get for this are just pathetic. I'm also trying to target White Fang Industry, which I now have the ability to afford. Do I? I do. I just got it. Wow. Literally, I didn't even look. I've been waiting for this. So that's an absolute must. I'm going to have to jockey. Oh, no, I don't have to jockey anything. It comes with the administration necessary to afford it, basically. So this is probably going to go right on you, I guess, on Angela. Yeah, I'm not sure who I'll put it on, but I'll figure that out. Anyways, this is going to be good. Right now, we're really lacking in boost, and that's the name of the game right now is I probably need to... I'm still, strategizing what's the best way of doing this. What's the right order of putting my mining stations up. We're in the unique situation that... Okay, so I would say that in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that last Mars one. I would have taken the extra whatever boost, 10, 12 boost, whatever it was, And also a little bit of my boost income is reduced since that, is part of the maintenance now, since I don't have anything established. One thing I could do is, the options as I see them at least are, go to the moon first, or we have to build up like a ludicrous amount of boost, which is going to take, unfortunately, like years. I will increase my boost income. I might try to get boost income from somebody else. I don't know exactly how it'll go, but it'll take a long time for us to be able to establish ourselves on Mars if we just try to go directly there. Now, if we do go directly there, we'll be set. We'll be able to build everything up in a matter of a short amount of time. But yeah, anyway, those are some of the considerations here, is how exactly to go about establishing myself on all the different places. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet, but that doesn't need to be solved immediately. One other thing I'm going to mention is, we've been talking about on my Discord, what's the best place to steal from. I have decided to go with one control point, which puts me pretty wildly over my limit. But one control point on the Gulf states. The nice thing about only having one control point is you still get the benefit of everyone else doing huge amounts of spoils. Because I'm not controlling these two, but they are still increasing the spoil points pretty quickly, which is how I'm getting the very little money I'm getting. I also looked at doing even like Yemen. Yemen's a single control point, 3.85. It doesn't have a lot of income. So if you just did nothing but spoils, this 2.2 would give you basically 2 spoils per month, which would give you 70 money twice per month. A little bit more than that, but basically this would be an income of 140, 150 or so. I mean, I don't know exactly what it comes out to, but around 150 a month for only controlling 4 points, which is pretty good. Better is these if you can afford the control points. So my current, like, if I was to restart everything now and redo it, I know exactly what I would do. I'd still go with Canada to get to the US. Mexico can be abandoned immediately after that. And I like Germany a lot. I also like Japan. If I was able to control some of those, forget anything else, and then probably one of these Middle Eastern nations that you can just ring out for spoils, then you'd have everything set. The one thing I didn't really account for in this playthrough so far has been how far behind money-wise I'm getting. And I didn't realize, because I played this before, and I don't know if things have been rebalanced or what. I didn't do spoils in my demo playthrough, for example, as the Resistance. I didn't feel so far behind on money, but I really feel it this time, so things might have been rebalanced. And that's probably lends itself towards the need of having a spoils. Now, one thing about spoils, sorry, I'm really off on a tangent here, but I don't like the way spoils is implemented right now, because it doesn't hurt your faction standing. I think the public opinion of somebody using, because everywhere you go, every person is using spoils at like almost the max rate. Even in like Japan, the initiative, spoils. Everybody's using spoils. And the one thing I think would be nice is if they added a little bit more of a negative. It seems like it's a no-brainer to do spoils. Because it's the game theory thing, right? Like the prisoner's dilemma. It is probably in your net benefit, although it is in everyone's net, worsening for you to do spoils. Like, you get all the benefit, but the punishment, which is minor, but it's shared by everyone. Anyway, I think that if you had spoils strongly impact a public opinion, you would, which makes sense, by the way, somebody going in and ruining the country, you would have a nice pushback against everyone just using it so much. You'd have people losing public opinion for using spoils. It just makes sense to me. And it also seems like a nice way of pushing back against everybody on the planet just using spoils, which just seems to be the meta right now. Okay, so where to begin? I was going to wrangle the European Union out of the servant's grasp because I just think that's a disaster for us. And not only that, but just to sweeten the pot for myself, a little bit of revenge. The servants did take Saudi Arabia for me. Now, Saudi Arabia was just a spoils thing, and I kept cracking it down by abandoning the nation because that's the way I needed to get my control points under control. We're actually doing great, man. We're up to 325. I'll show just a quick comparison with everyone in a moment because everyone's climbing, as you all do. Eventually we'll be over 400, but for now, 325 is actually pretty high. So I've basically shifted with my tail between my legs. I've run into the Gulf states, and this is my new spoils thing. Don't let that one dot fool you. That's the entirety of the control point, so it doesn't matter how many dots that is, it's the same amount. So that's my current income, although it's not making me that much, and actually a lot of the money that I have here came from the initiative. Project Exodus contacted me. I was actually just wondering this before I began recording this episode. Does the AI ever reach out to you? I was wondering about that. Well, it answered my question. It's so funny. So I canceled whatever foolish deal that they wanted to make with me, and I just traded a bunch of organizations that I didn't want for some money and some boost. I mean, I think it was 1 boost and a little bit of influence, but the money was about 5,000 because I gave away 2 orgs, and orgs go for a fair amount. Now, most recently, I have stolen these 2 orgs off of the servants because, yes, they pissed me off. They always pissed me off, and I thought I would just take them. So we actually had a servant detained. I have detained now, so I think I'm not sure. I'll let you know how this goes. I still don't have any assassinate people. Otherwise, I would love to assassinate some of the servants that we have sticking out here. We have both of them. You can see that they're messing with me. Anyway, what I wanted to say about the European Union, though, is I had my academy rating up to 75%. It was almost all green. And then they waved their little magic wand. Probably it was an alien itself doing this or something. But after one event, we sensed alien activity in the European Union, it dropped from 75 to 45. And it's down to 39 now, which just goes to show that the servants are continuing to do public opinion stuff. Now, I wouldn't mind a drop from 45 to 39. I wouldn't have mind 75 down to 69. But it was like category. I had been doing like 2 or 3 agents on this for about 2 months. So screw it, we're switching over to Russia. And that's my new plan now. Let's get them out of Russia first. There is a good reason to get them out of Russia. Obviously, there's more bad potential as far as nuclear weapons go. And Russia seems to be declaring war on everyone. But as soon as I get them out of... I don't even care about taking over either of these control points. Although for Russia, I might. One other thing to look at real fast is just how tech is progressing. I've actually finished the augmented military version. This one gives you the plus 5% bonus to knowledge. And I already finished the one which gives you plus 5 to military, armies, and navies. So we're doing really well. This strategy, I think that this is... I'm going to go out on a limb and say might be the most efficient way to manage your research, is to take just 2 of the 3. You probably could even get away with just doing 1 of the 3. At least controlling... I think I would contribute, and I may even want to contribute to this industrialization, because this is, by the way, one of the potential solutions to the mining problem we have in space. It's not that much of a problem, I just have to wait for boost, and boost is coming in at 1 every 4 days, so we're doing okay. We just need to wait a little bit of time. I almost have enough to just start mining on the moon, I think, for both the solar panel and the mining station. If I wanted to send that to the moon, it would be... let's find out. And it would be 41.7 here, and then the solar panel would be 5. So 5 plus 41. I mean, basically, let's call it just under 50. We're almost there. We don't only have to wait a couple weeks more. But I'm not going to do that. I think I'm still debating. I'm actually might run the math on it. There's definitely math you can run here, like getting the minerals here, and then the industrialization in space would give you the ability to build a construction module on an orbital station, which will allow you to build things quicker on the ground. That's one possibility. The simplest thing, I think, is just to get the resources flowing by sending the construction and the solar, will actually be a fission pile module, with boost from Earth. So I thought that there was a way to reduce the boost cost when you're sending things from Earth directly, but actually I can't remember what it is, so I'll let you know if I figure that out. Well, the game continues. The servants are really after the resistance, and in this case it's going to be Mexico, which, I mean, that hits a bit close to home for me, playing as the US, but nothing really I can do. I didn't I mean, what I could do is just go ahead and start allying every place the resistance is at. I don't know if they would accept such a thing, so let's just close this and let's see what would happen if I did try to ally them. Would they accept? They would, okay. So I could probably preempt these things by allying with, well, we're already allied with South Korea, so that's actually, we're going to be able to preserve the resistance's base there. And actually Thailand is not bad at, it's really not a bad place for boost. So despite the fact that the resistance is getting bonked, and I don't think that they'll be able to hold on to Mexico either, at least there's some hope here for their other places. Well, this is too many to track now, but there we go. The servants and the EU at war with Guyana. Well, well, well. You throw out the hook enough times and you eventually can land one. I have just been, this poor Sophia Bittencourt, she's given us about 30, no, not 30, but probably 10 organizations, because we got Administration 25 over here on Angela. I just stole so many orgs from the servants. I almost feel bad, but not really, because I really do hate the servants. They mess with you so much. But I actually noticed that we have like this chance, and it was not likely. I even threw some influence at it to get it this high, quote unquote this high. And I figured we'll just keep rolling until we get it. So we actually turned a counselor, which is really cool. So now we actually have, I guess, some
ready to sabotage the mission.
failed missions, one success chance. And I saw Perun just set this for basically 0, but we'll set failed missions with success chances less than 5%. I think that'll take them a long time to figure it out. Oh man, it's pretty cool to see all this. I mean, she has 4 orgs. We have stolen so many from her. I'm surprised she even has 4 at this point, but anyway. Oh, she's ethical. Well, that's an interesting thing on a servant. Anywho. By the way, what's there? Another thing that was going on. Oh my, what happened here? Oh, the cube of crack points. Oh, I gotta get these abandoned again. Get that right back down there. I was wondering why my influence was so low. And we are doing okay on everything else. Yeah, I think that the main thing is, oh yes, right, the update is I have nudged my way into Russia. Getting this crackdown point on the executive is, for some reason, even though the servants haven't, I think it was 62 and 3. Let's see what it is now. Come on. Come on. Yeah, it's 68 and 3, so it should be a better chance. But actually trying to crack down the executive was worse. And I thought this is legislative. Isn't this the one that gives you a bonus? Bonus to purge missions against all control points except the executive. Oh, okay, so I misread that. Oh, well. Well, the resistance contacted me, and I actually have an opportunity here to get a non-aggression pact. I only just noticed that after getting, the exact amount that I can out of this trade, just to show you, going up by even a single dollar. These are a lot of the text I just ripped off the servants. Also, any public campaign, anyone that I'm running, which only gives us public campaign. I mean, if it gives us money and influence for 2 stars, I'm expecting like a 1 star will give me about 15 or 20 for money or influence. Well, probably for money. Like 6 influence is actually a substantial hit to our monthly. But right, I feel like we're kind of in a good way on influence right now. I mean, we should be above 200 pretty soon. I'll get 10 more from them, so that'll put us over 200, just in case we want to pick up a new org. I just want to dump some orgs. And in order to do that, we're going to be able to get what I consider a pretty good org. Just it's a 1 star, and that nowadays, when you only have so many spots, I feel like administration is no longer the limit on my orgs. It's mostly about how many can I fit under 25. The first thing I go for is the boost. This is probably worth like way more than the other 2 resources, but I need it. We're almost to Mars. Get a little bit of influence, like I said, just to pop us over 200, and then just fill in the rest with cash. And I think this is a good exchange because basically I'm a little bit heavy on the orgs, I could equip probably all the orgs that I have, but you can see that there's a 6 here without counselors. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to check real fast to see what it would take to get a non-aggression pact. But I'm just going to keep this screenshotted so that I know what I can go back to. I wasn't going to do a non-aggression pact. In my head I was thinking, well, the last one didn't last very long anyway. But the resistance probably, I'm hoping, will honor it. And it only ended up costing me like 300 or so. Which money-wise, we're doing okay on. I mean, we need more money, but we're not short on it right now, so I consider this a nice investment in my future. The only problem I have is I'm not sure if the resistance has anything which I want. Nonetheless, I'm going to complete this trade. And then I'm going to quickly look. I think that they're getting close. Oh, cool. I was wondering who was going to get China. It's a big question, right? You have humanity first. Oh! The resistance has India. Pakistan is humanity first. So this is so cool. Humanity first and the resistance are taking Asia. And basically they're leaving... Well, North America is slowly being, as we've seen, conquered by the EU under the servants. But I'm now pushing out the servants in Russia. So that'll be helpful. I don't know, we have a pretty interesting shifting power dynamic here with Humanity First still controlling Italy. Yeah, the EU is going to be tough. I obviously don't have the points to hold the EU. I can barely hold on 1 point of Russia. That's okay. We're still going to try to do this. I don't care if it's the Initiative or Project Exodus. We just need somebody other than the servants controlling the EU. And that should relegate them. Unfortunately, the servants don't get relegated, right? They just force themselves in somewhere. I don't know where they'll end up, but as long as they don't take China, like, this is actually, I think this is a great thing. If they end up taking, like, the Middle East or something, I mean, they'll probably end up back in Russia. Maybe what I can do is quickly take control of Russia, delete all their nukes, and then give up Russia again. Because Russia, it does have a little bit of boost, but not that much. Pretty soon, I will have my boost situation under control. We're losing about 0.08 on boost just to supply the water and the volatiles. I did back of the envelope. Okay, guesswork versus worth of math, and I believe it is going to be better overall, like faster, more efficient for us to go directly to Mars and not to the moon. So we'll be doing that, and we'll be doing that actually before industrialization of space, which would allow us to do construction stuff. We'll get this onto Mars after we have one base already set up, giving us a nice pool of water and volatiles. And it'll also give us, we'll probably pick up a spot which gives us basically everything. Okay, anyway, actually I think this is almost the place where I need to call this video to a close, because I see that we're almost at 50 minutes, or, at least deep into the 40s, depending on how much editing I'm going to be doing, which it's been more and more lately. So maybe I'll try to push on just another month or so, and next event that comes up, I'll kill it. Well, we really didn't get far, but this is probably where I will bring the episode to a close, because now we've finished Arrival Law, and this is interesting because now we have a few options opened up to us. Hopefully we'll unlock those pretty quickly, since we were the ones who contributed the most to the research. As far as the next thing goes, there's a couple things I want to make sure I do. I want to make sure I spread out the techs, so what you can see here is 3939, this will drop 3535. Basically, if you're... Oh yeah, they reversed... I don't know why they did this. Hopefully they change it back. They reversed the left-click, right-click functioning in this. It's driving me mad. But if you are doubling up on a tech category, and you have a bonus in that category, the bonus is not applied equally to both anymore. It's applied the same to both, but it's not at the maximum rate. So there is some lack of... there's a benefit to spreading out the tech categories. At least the ones you're working on. So it doesn't matter. 39 that I'm not working on does not matter. But it does work. The social science here. So I don't want to choose a social science one, even though that is one of the things I'm gunning for. But actually the tech I want to go for with the social science is, I think it's unlocked by Unrival International Relations. So we could go spend more time in the tech tree. I don't want to do that since we're really running out of time. I know that biotech-wise, there's the cybernetic stuff that I could get eventually. There's also, yeah, advanced heat management is something we're going to want no matter what. And right now we happen to not be doing any space science. We also have a huge bonus in space science. So this is kind of a nice quick one to pick up. It's only 2,500. We'll be done with it very quickly. And another one, by the way, would have been advanced carbon manipulation. I honestly don't think you can go wrong with either of these. In fact, maybe I will go with advanced carbon manipulation because I think that the text down here I might be using space science instead. So we'll just do this one. It's only 1,000, and I'm sure that if we need to, we can put 2 in it even. So we will win that spot back. And that said, I mean, we have this finishing on the 10th of September, so I can't go that far. But I'll see you back for the next episode where we'll discuss more about the tech tree and lots of other things. So we made decent progress this episode, still not going quite as fast as I want to go. My goal by next episode will be to be in 2028. I really want to push until... So the next thing that has to happen in the next episode is we will get the Mars mining up and running. That's going to be exciting. And I don't think we have that much more going on. We need to spread out in space more. No spaceships or anything like that coming up in the near future as far as I know. Just kind of sit things out on Earth and roll through this kind of early game period. So yeah, I'll be trying to move as quick as I can. All that in the next one. Until then, thanks for watching. Stay safe and take care.